My parents dressed me in a heavy wool overcoat that was much too big and smelled of mothballs. I threw it off. My mother put it on me again, lifted me in her arms, and looked me straight in the eye. Her breath was warm and smelled of tobacco. She said nothing, but her nose touched mine. Her eyes got wide, and then she shut them tight. I could hear the wooden wheels of the flatbed peddlers' carts along the cobblestones downstairs. My father took me from my mother and touched his hand to my face. The high-pitched squeals of the children on the carts came up through our front windows. I wanted to be brave, so I shut my eyes tight to keep from crying. My father put me on his shoulder and walked me downstairs while I heard my mother stand up, knocking over a chair. I opened my eyes and watched as she ran for the toilet in the back hallway. She did not look back at me. As she turned for the door, her dress opened at the back seam. I saw her cotton panties and a teardrop of blood traveling down her thigh. As my father carried me down the stairs, I memorized the pattern of crowns and stars on the blue and white wallpaper in the hallways. On the street, the carts were filled with children, most very young. Many parents were walking alongside the carts. It was chaotic, but somewhere someone was playing a small flute or ocarina. I could not tell where it was coming from, but the sound was a comfort. It went with the rhythm of the carts as they started to move toward the rail station. Everyone looked up, as if the music was coming from the sky. My father placed me in the middle of the cart and pinned one of his poems to my wool coat. I remember the crows flying overhead. Caw! Caw! They sound the same everywhere. Breathe, Stalina. Breathe, he whispered to me. You're a strong girl. Take care of these little ones. When you come home, I will have all my poems waiting for you. You will be my ambassador of words. He hummed a tune in his deep voice as he held my face in his hands, then kissed my forehead before turning to go. I kept the note, and when I was older, I memorized the poem. My daughter watches the waves by the sea. Do they remind her without knowing of the womb from where she came? So safe and sound. Now we are surrounded, cut off like the wheat we were meant to grow. Our bread will never rise or bake. Will my daughter remember me? When will she return? Will she have waves of pleasure again, or only tears of anger and pain? Will she remember her place at the table and the patterns on the walls? I leave a thumbprint of a hug around her soft shoulder. When she returns, will there be anything? There will be my poems for her. So many questions in one poem. I would return and commit to memory every one of his poems. The factory whistles sounded for the lunch hour, and the cart moved toward the rail station. They took us to a camp up north in the region called Karaya, a beautiful area, not far from where my family had its dacha. The children were brought to the town of Kim. We were 40, all from Leningrad. I was one of the oldest. In our camp, there were mostly the young ones. The counselors, a mix of students and workers, stayed up all night playing cards in the basement. The smell of vodka and cigarettes came up through the floorboards. The amber light from their lanterns streamed through the cracks. I would pass my fingers through the light and make it flicker like an old movie. Moths flying near the lamp would cast giant shadows that looked like hawks circling above our bunks. The buzz from the shuffling cards made the sound effects for the flapping wings of the giant moth hawks I conjured.